Hello, I'm Tiffany with Stitch and Addiction, and I'm excited to share the next video in my Becoming Jo March project. If you're new here, I started this project in 2020 when I decided to make 7 historical outfits based on descriptions of Jo's clothing in Little Women. Today, we will be discussing chapters 30 through 34 of Little Women. If you've been following along, I hope you've read these chapters in preparation, as there will be spoilers in the rest of the video. But Jo had made up her mind, and after pondering over a project for some days, she confided it to her mother. "You asked me the other day what my wishes were. I'll tell you one of them, Marmee," she began as they sat alone together. "I want to go away somewhere this winter for a change." "Why, Jo?" And her mother looked up quickly, as if the words suggested a double meaning. With her eyes on her work, Jo answered soberly, "I want something new. I feel restless and anxious to be seeing, doing, and learning more than I am. I brood too much over my own small affairs and need stirring up. So, as I can be spared this winter, I'd like to hop a little way and try my wings." "Where will you hop?" "To New York. I had a bright idea yesterday, and this is it. You know Mrs. Kirk wrote to you for some respectable young person to teach her children and sew. It's rather hard to find just the thing, but I think I should suit if I tried. It's honest work, and I'm not ashamed of it." In these chapters, Amy is finally seeing Europe with Aunt March, while Jo is at home warding off Laurie's romantic advances and caring for Beth. All of these factors together spur Jo to take on a new adventure, go to New York City and work in Mrs. Kirk's boarding house. Jo's first independent adventure inspired me to think about what she would have worn as she traveled to this new place to make her own way in the world. Although she does not mention exactly how she traveled to New York City, it is most likely that she traveled by train. Train travel, like many other modes of travel in this era, was a bit dirty. The soot from the coal-fired engines covered everything, so publications of the day encouraged women to not only wear darker-colored dresses, but also dark petticoats and corsets because of the soot and dirt of travel. Just like now, women wanted to be relatively comfortable as they traveled, so traveling suits of the late 1860s were often multi-piece ensembles, loose-fitting, and made of wool for warmth. These outfits were also often simple with little to no trimmings. A typical traveling suit of the late 1860s would have included a skirt, undersleeves or cuffs, a chemisette or collar, and a sack or long, loose jacket on top. Women were encouraged to wear sturdy boots, gloves, and bring a shawl for warmth. For Jo's traveling suit, I chose a dark navy wool gabardine fabric. I accented this with burgundy and gold through buttons, trim, and accessories. For this outfit, since Jo was traveling in the late 1860s, I made a 5-gored skirt to go over the elliptical hoop. There are pockets hidden in the side seams, and the back is cartridge pleated to allow plenty of fullness over the hoop in the back. For the jacket, I used a pattern found in Peterson's magazine to create a long, loose jacket that featured cartridge pleating at the back waist and a series of inside ties to bustle up the portion below the back waist, accentuating the fashionable silhouette. A stand collar and undersleeves just peek out at the neck and wrists. Large vintage floral buttons march down the front of the jacket, and a belt pulls in the waist to emphasize the hourglass shape. I trimmed the belt with just a bit of burgundy soutache. To accessorize, I added my gold and burgundy hat, a pair of burgundy leather gloves, and a burgundy shawl. With my trunk, carpet bag, and a book, I'm ready for a train trip to a new city, just like Jo. We took the photos at the Grapevine train depot. This railroad depot was built in 1888 as the Grapevine Cotton Belt Railroad Depot. It was operated by the St. Louis Southwestern Railway, also known as the Cotton Belt Route, until 1972 when the station was closed. In the 1990s, the depot was restored and became the ticketing site for the Grapevine Vintage Railroad, which offers rides in original 1920s luxury coaches. I hope you've enjoyed this discussion of chapters 30 through 34 of Little Women and seeing my concept of what Jo's traveling suit may have looked like. The next outfit in the Becoming Jo March series will be based on chapters 35 and 36 of Little Women, and I invite you to read them with me in preparation for the next video. Which outfit from those chapters do you think I'll be recreating? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me today as we explored what Jo might have worn when traveling to her new adventure in New York City. If you would like your own made-to-measure version of Jo's traveling suit, shop with the link below. If you have enjoyed today's Becoming Jo March video, please check out the other videos on the Little Women playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Special thanks to Dixie DIY for filming and editing today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.